I'm September Woods Garland, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to share this story, and uh, also just really thrilled to find a home for it in Door is Ajar. I'll be reading this short story entitled Tuulikki Bakes a Cake. We live near the front. The frozen lake is all that stands between us and the enemy's encroaching line. I'm grateful to eat from its waters in these times of scarcity. The smell of my mother's stew, carp and potatoes, seasoned with herbs we dried in summer, fills the cabin, promising to nourish my growing body. But even a full stomach cannot quell the dread. The arrival of more men and more guns is inevitable. My mother does not accept this inevitability as an excuse to lie around lamenting. She sends me on errands each morning, and with our soldiers camping nearby, I help eagerly, wanting to catch a glimpse of their insignia and eavesdrop on their conversations. Their tales of foreign lands and ideas mesmerize. Today I'm assisting with an important task. It's taken some convincing for the men to allow a young woman to participate. No one wants the honor of exposing me to the horrors of war. But I tell them I'm no stranger to atrocities. I watched my brother explode, I tell them, and I cried for a week when my father fell from the sky. I lift my sweater and trace the scar over the bullet wound on my abdomen with my finger. They watch, and I know they wonder, but won't ask. One of the soldiers steps closer to me. His eyes are a deep hazel, and when he speaks, I listen with the ear in my heart like Father taught me. You've seen a lot, he says. I have. As the words leave my mouth, I hope their sound fits his heart ear like his fit mine. You know, our tactics go back generations, he says, while rolling a pinch of tobacco into a cigarette. It's not an impressive job, but it'll do the trick. We use snow and ice to thwart our enemies, to hide and confuse. I've heard of these tactics. All Finns have. I've heard the morbid rumors and seen the rough-hewn sketches in a book my cousin swiped from a visiting journalist. The depictions stick in my mind. Frozen bodies, posed and stacked, their eyes pried open, partially obscured by icicled eyelashes. These were men who once lived and breathed and wore the red scarves of the opposition. Men who once left home for war like father, but fought for the wrong side. I've heard all about the effectiveness of the strategy. Enemy soldiers, when coming upon their fallen comrades arranged in such a way, would crack from disturbance and horror just long enough to create an advantage. It's then our troops would pounce. I've heard all these things, but I've never seen the task carried out, let alone assisted in such a thing. Today we stack and pose the icy corpses of the enemy in a wild display at the shore. Moving the bodies is a cumbersome task. I lack the strength to lift them, but I maneuver and arrange limbs and heads as instructed by the men. The fingers are rigid. When I try to move them, to pose them as I'm guided, I fear they may break off. I learn quickly to be gentle, to sense the breaking point of the lifeless digits. Despite these morbid challenges, the job satisfies. I feel purposeful. I take in the view of our work, 17 men arranged in an icy diorama. I feel for them, briefly. I know it is the poor who fight wars for rich men's gains. It is the peasantry dying out here. But as I take in the display of bodies at the shore, I steel myself against empathy and let the pride swell within. Yesterday, when the bombs were falling and the men were rushing across the lake, I wouldn't have believed these events possible. I've had a hand in this, and for my work, I feel I have grown. Something new can happen for me. As the day winds down, we retreat to the cabin, where my mother has built a roaring fire and brewed strong coffee. I don't realize how cold I've been until the men and I enter. It's in the chattering of my teeth that I know I live. It's the pain in my bones, a deep chill, that alerts me to my existence. I count these sensory experiences and disruptions in comfort as blessing, reminders of my vitality. The bombs will fall again tomorrow, but today the men have silenced them. We have deterred the enemy for now, and we'll use that to our advantage. Not to advance or to take initiative, but to take the only thing worth taking, time. This evening, my mother and I bake a modest cake from the soldiers' rations and ingredients we've stashed for a special occasion. I savor the task of frosting both layers, letting the joy of creation well up in me. I think about my father and my brother, and I smile, grateful for the time we shared and comforted by the idea that I may see them again soon. We share the cake with the men. I peer out the cabin's frosted windows as I eat, that morbid spectacle in view. I'm reminded of my good fortune. My heart still pumps blood through these veins, after all. My lungs still inflate with oxygen, and my brain still commands my body to walk around talking and loving and bumping up against boundaries. My mouth can take food into it, chew and swallow. We finish the cake, every crumb consumed, every lick of frosting devoured. Everyone agrees it's the best we've tasted. Of course it is, I think. It may be our last. Thank you.